Yeah, well, the Queen Creek is known in some circles as Arizona's Forgotten River. And so even though it's a like we call it a creek, it really is like a river that's carved its way through this canyon that it's just so beautiful to drive by. And the headwaters is on the other side of the highway from Oak Flats, which is a contested area due to mining activity and the sacred land that it's been for generations, with the Apache now being the stewards of that land today. And so that river, which is probably more appropriately called, it used to drain into the Gila. And if you look at a map now, it's really hard to see that ever happened, because you see how it meanders and how it dries up, and how it's been dry for so long due to mining activity back in the 1900s is really when it began. It caused some fissures in the creek bed, and as a result, water just, instead of going and flowing, it just starts to get lost down on those fissures. And so even though that was the case in the 1900s, still there was enough happening and enough water still for there to be a flow. And so, like, my mom used to live right by where the fissures stop. She lived right on the other side. I mean, she could just walk to the creek from her backyard. It was almost connected to it. And so she tells these stories of how it was almost as if the creek was like another parent for her. And some of these stories, honestly, like, are so deeply personal that I don't even feel super comfortable sharing them in a public domain, if you know what I mean. Like, my tia Chila, she talks about the spiritual connection she has in a certain spot that she would go to and just sit and just have these experiences that were so deeply personal. So yeah, that shifting baseline idea really is worth bringing up, because kids today look over at the creek, or when I was growing up, look at the creek and you'd see some water sometimes, but now, like, kids today, it's like you almost never see any water there, and you think that's just how it's always been. I'll even just push it further and say that there used to be on the other side. So where Leo's is at on Pinnell Avenue, on the other side behind some of the rows of houses, there used to be this body of water called La Laguna. And when people talk about La Laguna who are in their 70s, they'll say, "Oh man, yeah, that was all dirty water. It was all polluted. You didn't want to go in there." And there's all these funny stories about kids getting in trouble from their parents because they were in the water, and you could tell because it was all kinds of mine pollution, and you could see it on their clothes, right? But that's if you ask kids today, where's La Laguna? They'll have no idea because it's completely dried up. It was didn't even exist as a body of water when I was a kid. You never even saw it. But then if you talk to someone like my tata, who's 97 years old, he says La Laguna, oh, it used to be real clear water. We used to go fishing in there. He told me about a time that one time he was like fishing in La Laguna and he caught a turtle on accident. And you just think, like, how far away we are from turtles being in La Laguna. Now it's like it's just a dried up piece of land off to the side over there now, right? So yeah, that shifting baseline it's really relevant here.